place your hands outside the car where we can see them. Yep, just what I was afraid of.
I got this.
Sir, step out of the car. But when you do, don't be black.
Wait, what?
If you could also avoid being Mexican or Muslim, that would be great too.
But I'm black.
Yeah, it's not gonna work for us. Sir, please step out of the car as a white person so we can all relax.
I'm not sure how to do that.
He's resisting arrest. We don't want any trouble!
Yeah, neither do I.
Then why are you being so black about this?
I'm not being black about this. I just am black.
Is that a threat?
That was not funny. At all.
Welcome to the OUCHCAST.
Can't play that on Black History Month.
It's not Black History Month. God damn it. This is March.
No.
This is March.
No, I am pulling back the curtain again.
You know, I don't like Sick Doyle. I really don't.
How's it feel? How's it feel to pull the curtain back, Angel? Remember?
It feels great. That's what you get. Welcome to the episode of the OUCHCAST. Today we're going to discuss politics. No, I'm just kidding. George, how's it doing?
Pretty dang good.
Yeah, how's everything?
I mean, aside from my tooth issue, I'm all right.
Is it falling off or?
Nah, I mean, I got to go get some cavities refilled.
Sexy.
Yeah.
Enrique?
The dentist said he wants the tooth and nothing but the tooth.
So help me God. Well, I just found out today that God is dead thanks to Supernatural, so that was interesting.
I stopped watching after season, I want to say 8.
I went on YouTube and watched the highlights.
I think I got to do that.
Don't
I know
do
it got.
it.
I know it
Don't
got
do it.
crazy. I know it got crazy after. Yeah, I'm not going to open up
mean,
that kind of worms.
They had me. They had a great concept. I think season of whatever, like 11.
Mm-hmm.
They were fighting the darkness.
Darkness, everyone.
It was like
Fuck your couch.
it was a manifestation of like the primordial darkness that existed before creation. So they were fighting that, and I thought that was a great way to end the show because I was like, man, that's actually an interesting concept.
So they fought 4chan?
4chan. Who did you ever go on 4chan?
No, not at all. That's
You
too
know,
toxic. It's too toxic even for me, dude.
You lie. Everyone at some point got. But
I-
4chan before used to be.
On my children's lives, I have never ever gone to 4chan.
I've been on 4chan, and I've gone on because keep in mind 4chan it's like Reddit in the sense that it's a series of different networks, right? The one that's the most problematic, the one where the most issues have come out of is the sub part of 4chan, which is the B. What is it called? The B chat, I think is what it's called. And there is where people post all the nasty like porn stuff and the conspiracy stuff and all the most problematic stuff has been because there is like an anonymous aspect there as well. That's where it's been. But there's been some parts of 4chan that were all right.
Speaking of 4chan, Doyle, do this in the Bill Cosby voice. Come on.
No.
Do it.
No.
Come on.
I refuse. I refuse.
Oh, man. Never mind.
No. So for those that can't see, Angel just tried to force Doyle.
He didn't try to
into
force
a
him.
compromising
He tried to coerce him.
situation.
Compromising situation.
How would that be compromising to Doyle?
What do you mean? What do you mean? That is compromise. That's why I said no. No means no. Unless it means no, do what I say.
Hashtag me too. Enrique, how are you doing?
I'm great. I'm great. Love life.
Yeah.
Love life. Life loves me.
Are you sure about that?
I'm pretty sure.
Sounds a little
I wake
personal.
up with a little
Doyle?
dance in my heart.
Dance in your
Because we pulled the curtain back, I'm still sick. Just so if anyone hears that in my voice, I am still sick as we record this episode. But, you know, it's okay because I'm under the influenza. Where were you?
Under the influence?
Yeah.
He said under the influenza.
Oh, there you go.
Well, see now.
I was
That feels like a pity drum roll.
I know, right?
It was a pity drum roll because I was actually getting ready to do something else here. This episode is in memory of Doyle.
Yeah, it sounds like she's dying too.
That's the whole point.
Hold up. You played the SPCA thing in memory of me? I am not a monkey. What kind of shit?
Why'd you say monkey? They only show dogs and shit on there.
It's some sort of animal, and I am neither.
I mean, I agree with you on that.
I mean, technically we are.
But I just wanted to know where the hell
Yeah, I don't know. You classify
monkeys
what you
came
want.
from.
Hey, look, humans are humans, and animals are animals. Animals do not have the complex capability
Angel came
of
from
humans.
a monkey.
I'm from a monkey,
Yeah, I believe that.
a funky monkey.
I believe that even more. Look like an orangutan.
Hey. Leave my looks out of it.
That's messed up.
But yeah, my poor Doyle is under the weather. Has influenza or influence. I don't know. I always get those confused.
I don't know.
Sounds like it's a bad.
Well, he has influenza, but he does have no influence because he has no social media.
Actually-
He's a hipster.
actually-
I don't
Are
have
you
any social
really
media.
alive?
You're
if you
even
don't
wrong.
have- Like, if the Matrix doesn't recognize you exist, do you?
He
really
has no
exist?
Facebook. He has no Twitter. He has no
makes me
Instagram.
Neo.
He has no High Five. He has no Moco Space. He has no MySpace.
No
he
Moco
has
Space.
No. Which is the other ones that are High Five? Movado, I think is another one. I
I don't
don't know.
I
There's a
never heard
lot
of
of
it.
fucking different ones out there. He
These
has no
are-
Truth Social.
These are all social media?
Yes.
Social.
Wow.
That's the only place where you can find the truth.
The Truth Social.
Yeah, definitely
Twitter.
wouldn't have gone on there. No
tooth.
Twitter.
Nothing but the
wait,
tooth.
wait. Parlay.
Nope.
Parlor.
Parlor. Oh, parlay.
Parlez
Parlez français. Oh, oh. Vete féculé.
No grinder, no Tinder.
Déshabillez-vous.
my balls.
Error. Anyway, man, your energy is so low, dude.
Low. Am I low?
You sound high.
It's the NyQuil.
Oh God. But yeah, no, dude.
He got a bad batch
How
of
do you
NyQuil.
not have any social media?
Easy. I was born in the 80s. So
I was born in the 70s and I have social media.
Yeah, what's wrong with you? Your younger self would be disappointed in you. Shame on you.
I have a question for you. Like, do you miss anything about high school?
No.
Okay.
I was so happy to get out of that place. My glory years were college. Once I got into college, that's when I became like cool.
But even
not
then,
really.
your circle was very small, probably, and it wasn't about the socialization. Probably there was like,
Actually, my social circle blew up after high school.
Okay.
I got a job, and all my coworkers loved me, and then we started going to parties, and
Okay.
all the people. Then I became a whore,
well,
and then
this doesn't help my theory. Then I have this theory that social media is basically just a high school experience writ large. So like all of us that go onto social media is to try to get that same interconnected feel that we did in high school. Like think about when you were in high school, right? For 4 years, you run across people. You know their names, you know their faces, but you don't really know their lives. But you know about the things that happen just because it's like
Shared experience.
yeah, shared experience. And once you leave high school, you never have that back. But social media has since recreated that shared experience. Now as adults, we fall back into the same habits of like, gossiping and, sharing like, just peering into people's lives, that sort of thing. That's what I think social media is for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I was going with that. So, but you kind of blew it out of the water. Thanks, Doyle.
no, that's
Thanks, Doyle.
all right. That's a very interesting concept because I think like we're all humans trying to share our human experience with somebody. Even the whole concept of getting married and like I the reason I don't do social media is because
You're a hipster?
I don't. Hipsters are all over social media. What are you talking about? You're a hipster.
I'm not a hipster.
Yeah, clearly you are, Mr. Social Media.
How am I a hipster?
Have you looked at your hips? You got some big lips.
You got more hips.
Why are you looking at my hips?
You got more hips than I do.
More hips than Shakira?
I honestly I started to realize like not everyone deserves to be No. Well, that too. But not everybody deserves access to your life. Like, after a certain point, like, you know, I realized for me, I was going through a lot of things personally, and I started to, like, reflect on myself and say, like, not everyone deserves to know what I'm going through, what I feel, my successes, my victories, my failures. Like, not everyone deserves that. Like, only my small circle. So what I did was an experiment. I got off social media for 2 weeks. And I said, if you call me within this 2 weeks, then you're a real friend. And I want to see who my real friends are.
And I never called.
I worked with you at the time.
Oh, okay.
I'm still waiting for that call.
And so I deleted social media, got off for 2 weeks, and it was all still there. And there was this thing called the Phantom
Menace?
No, that's another thing. There was a
Phantom Zone?
That is
Phantom Planet?
the Phantom, the behind the mask. Batman, the Phantasm. No,
Phantom of the Opera?
Ben Affleck was the bomb in Phantoms, yo.
Yeah.
Oh, Phantoms, that movie.
Yeah, that was a
Rose
great
McGowan, right?
Nice.
Sorry, we ruined that moment for you.
That's okay. It wasn't important.
You're used
anyway.
to it?
I was kind of like,
Sorry, Doyle. Like, I hate when that happens to me, when Angel does that to me, so I apologize.
Yeah,
for
I'm
no,
sorry.
you gotta go with it.
Yeah, I don't like
go
Sick
with it,
Doyle.
man.
He's just like, yeah, whatever.
This is Doyle on like 4, right? Normally we got Doyle on like firing at all cylinders. Right now he's at 4.
He's at a 4. Yeah.
That's all right.
Look at him with his
Damn
little
you,
beady little eyes.
NyQuil.
I know. I thought that would wake him up, but it didn't.
Oh man, I was getting into it.
So we're talking about
Influencers?
yeah.
Influencers.
Well,
Man.
social media
Have
influencers,
we?
yeah.
Have we transitioned into that yet?
No, but that's the transition. See, that's how you know. That's how you know Doyle's not working. So influencers.
Yeah, like after the podcast, I'll drag him to his car.
He's gonna pass out in his car right now.
I'm under the influence, and we're talking about influencers. All right.
It's all play on words, people. It's all a play on words.
Yeah, influenza on influencers. I think that's one of the bad parts that has happened with social media. I mean, there's a lot of toxic byproduct from social medias, but influencers is probably one of the biggest ones.
Influencers were inevitable, though.
Oh no, yeah. Dude,
I mean,
it's become a whole thing.
Well, if you think of the high school experience that I was talking about, influencers are just the popular kids we're all trying to be.
The douchebags, yeah,
Right,
yeah. I'm not gonna say no names, but I was about to say names from high
Say
school.
names! Name
God
them!
damn it! No, I have one here. This is a review from an influencer. I'm giving a 1 star because of the cheap management and customer service. I heard the food was very good, so I went to try. Me and the boyfriend got the calamari, spaghetti, alla vongole, and gnocchi. All were very delicious. I was actually so impressed that when the manager came to ask how everything tasted, I told her it was some of the best Italian food I've ever had, and told her I'm going to post this on my Instagram when this is all over. I have over 11,000 followers, and a lot of them are in the area. She seemed very happy. I was wrong. I thought she would be grateful for the free advertisement, but when the check came, there was literally no discount at all. I thought at least one of the entrees would be taken off, and they didn't take anything off, not even the calamari or even the drinks. I won't go back because of this, which is a shame because the food was very good. The manager needs to understand how to treat customers. 1 star.
Trash ass person.
That's the downside to influencers. They expect free shit.
They believe themselves to be celebrities.
Bane, are you a social influencer?
No, I was born in the dark.
I was born in the social media.
Molded by it. You merely
Your likeness or
adopted
your
it.
followers.
No, that's pretty common now, where you have all these influencers reaching out to hotels, reaching out to restaurants, expecting free shit. Because I have over 1,000 followers, I expect free shit. This is free advertisement. That's fucking toxic as fuck, man.
Well, I mean,
Having said that,
Toxic
please
influencers.
follow us on on Instagram on
Please give us free
Ouchcast.
shit.
Give
have
us
a
free
question.
shit.
Well, of course, we're gonna definitely take free stuff, but like, I think it's the entitlement
Yeah,
that you're
that's
referring to.
that's what I'm. That's my problem. I
First
mean,
of all-
if things are given to you for free for whatever reason, that's great. That's a perk. It's not expected. It's not entitlement. It's just something that's
Appreciated.
appreciated, dude.
So that girl claimed. Okay, so first of all, not everybody who claims to be an influencer is an influencer. First
Over
and foremost,
11,000
it doesn't matter how many followers or how many views you have. There are contracts that go within influencing. It's called a UGC, user created or user generated contract agreement. And basically, if you don't have one of those, you are not an influencer, because these brands and these buildings and these places are hiring you as a work for hire to do something within their context. And so you're going to agree on your content, you're going to create your content, and you can charge according to what you offer, right? The problem is that there are people who just get 10,000 followers on TikTok and think, oh yeah, I'm an influencer because I went to a Wiener Schnitzel and I was eating a hot dog. And it doesn't work like that. It does not matter. Like, yeah, you got 10,000 views or whatever.
For putting a weenie in your mouth.
No, that's OnlyFans.
Are you a fan?
Not really. No.
Sorry, I don't know where I was going with that. I apologize.
Angel's only a fan of putting microphones in his mouth.
Oh, cochino.
No.
All right, so I have a question about that. So what is an influencer? Like, what is an influencer? Like, where's the line? I've asked this of you guys before as well. Like, can celebrities become influencers? Are influencers celebrities? I mean, what are we working with here?
It's a hybrid of the both. A celebrity can become an influencer by try to pawn off some kind of service or some kind of product online when they get hired to do such things. But that's secondary to them being a celebrity. Anyone could be an influencer if the money's right. If you have enough influence over the masses. An influencer by itself is someone who, for some reason, either mostly because of good looks or humor, have enough of a following where then they can start peddling their own product or services to their masses, to their fans. That's I think my definition of an influencer. The problem is there's a difference between an actual influencer. That's, let's say, I don't know, Simon Pegg would just be like, oh, I really love this brand, and he really loves this brand of Gatorade, let's say, and then he puts out a post about it. He's not getting paid for it. He's just sharing something that he likes with his fans. That's not a big deal. Now, if he goes around and says like, oh, I really love this Gatorade, but he really doesn't, it's because of the fact that he's getting paid to say that. That's him being an influencer.
Okay.
Which is technically also illegal. You are not allowed to.
Oh, now it is.
Yeah,
Now it is.
you're not allowed to spread misinformation about like products and brands and things like that. So
It's not enforced though.
It's not enforced. It's not
Information
enforced.
about products and brands.
Yes.
Yeah, now
So
on
if-
Instagram, you're supposed to label it. You're supposed to label
Yes.
when
As
it's a
an
paid
ad,
as a
hashtag
paid
ad.
sponsorship.
Yes. Yeah.
But let's be honest, a lot of them don't.
Oh, absolutely not. I mean, there's to a certain degree, like you also, it's because what they're trying to do is they're trying to add regulations to protect people. You know, you have influential kids and stuff like that. And if you are an influencer, let's say hypothetically, like, let's just take a religion, for example. Let's say you're a Scientologist and you're trying to push Scientology on people and you're like, oh yeah, I think it's super cool for people to do therapy. And you're saying it, but you're kind of pushing the therapy that they do in Scientology, then that can be very detrimental to people. So they're trying to avoid having that kind of thing happen. And I agree. I don't think anybody should be. If you choose to follow a pattern or a path or a belief or anything like that, you should make that decision for yourself. Nobody can force you to believe in something. That's just against your human right.
Tell that to the Catholics. So I got an email here from, I guess, someone on Yelp. I do Yelp. It's
Are you really? They did a South Park episode about
I'm not
you.
yelping. I'm not yelping. I do Yelp.
Yelp.
Yelp. But my yelping is like, it's just like like kind of like the videos that I do for
Yeah.
Social Hermit Media.
Great,
I just go out.
Great videos, by the way.
Thanks.
I love those videos.
I just go out and basically when I like something, I'm not a dick about it. I'm not out there like I demand half or nothing like that. I just I go out and if I like it, I tell you and I give my reviews and blah blah blah. Not a big deal. Nothing major. I just write out a quick little paragraph. But I got an email from Yelp telling me that they're part of the Yelp San Gabriel Valley Community Managers, which basically means that the go-to gal for all things Yelp related in San Gabriel Valley. I'm just sending you a message because I wanted to let you know that I enjoy reading all your feedback that you've written. I personally think that you're great. You would be a great addition to the 2023 Yelp SGV Elite Squad. I have no idea what the fuck that is, but basically they want me to nominate myself and get like a little badge on there.
Okay.
But I don't get what the point of that is. Like
Like
is
a
that
super
am I going to be
user,
like
maybe?
a Yelp influencer? Is that what
Yeah,
they want to
I
do?
think that's what it
your,
is.
your blue check mark, quote unquote.
Exactly.
But what's the point of that?
Well,
I
I
don't
think
give a shit about that.
because
Once you're verified, they can push your videos a little bit higher in certain areas.
That's the thing, though. They don't. I cannot post videos on Yelp. It's not allowed.
well, your reviews.
Your reviews,
yeah.
So
And-
okay, but so if you think about it, like there's a lot of noise on these things, right? By noise, I mean people, just random, and those that's the bread and butter of these communities, right? Like like mom and dad and them saying, hey, this is a great place. Here's 2 stars or 3 stars or 4 stars or whatever. But then you have people like say like yourself in this instance where you would have that badge and therefore you're more valid. And that's really what it comes down to is they're trying to make you more valid, but more importantly, they're trying to monetize
Off of me?
Well, absolutely. They're trying to monetize your what's the word I'm looking for? They're trying to monetize the fact that you are a
Your
organic
credibility.
credibility and an organic opinion. Because that's what all of that's the gold standard of any advertisement is how organic is it, like how authentic is it.
I don't want people to come here because I paid Jimmy to say something. I want Joe Schmo who is
Well,
out there living life to
so-
come and tell people what it's
So
like.
exactly
here's,
right. That's
here's what
exactly
it
right.
is. And this is let me help out anybody who cares to be an influencer. They actually care more about your engagement rate than your number of followers, because people can pay for bots to follow them. So your bot count goes way through the roof, and they can't verify how many of those followers are organic and how many actually follow you. But they can gauge your actual impact by your engagement rate. So how many comments do you have? How many replies do you have? Like, what are you actually talking about in your comments? Those are things that they can actually quantify, and they can say, hey, you have a 15% engagement rate with 25,000 people. That's a fantastic engagement rate. We would love to do business with you. And then because your engagement rate is so high, you can charge up the wazoo for it. And that's what influencers are using in order to make these UGC agreements and deals. So
That's interesting, yeah, because once the engagement is in, then you are more profitable. You matter more to these platforms, and I never thought about it that way.
So you're
That
saying
makes a lot of
I
sense.
should nominate myself? Is
Yeah.
that what you're saying?
Why say why not? Yeah, why not?
I mean,
What's-
you're already doing it.
I just don't want to. I don't want to have it be a whole thing where I have to like commit to certain events or whatever. I don't know. I don't know what it consists of. I don't know if
read the
I'm gonna have
contract.
to do
Just
something.
make sure you read the contract.
Yeah, I guess I will.
Yeah, but I imagine that because of how kind of off the cuff it comes out, that I'm sure it's not like one where you're going to be held to
Car?
anything. Game
on! Oh man, you beat me to it. Damn
Dude,
it! No,
we've been
I'm
doing this
it.
all
I don't know what's
freaking
going
day.
on.
It's weird. I swear to God, me and Angel have never slept or anything together, but we're.
Wow.
Hey, buddy, we're like synonymous here, man. I'm feeling the love, the mode. We're in the mode.
He's feeling something.
He's feeling something
Hey,
already.
but you know what? What I'm really doing here is making him think twice when he tries to like suck on his microphone as a means of like throwing us off.
I don't suck on the microphone. I give it a Felicio.
He gags on it.
Yeah,
I gag.
here we go.
I have no gag factor, so no.
That's a fat ass microphone. The fact that you can put your freaking lips around it is amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
can I just say that?
Thick.
That's why you carry Vaseline.
None needed, buddy.
Cochino's
All spit.
a
He's
lot
the
of you.
worst.
He's practiced many years eating
Naturally
burritos.
lubricated.
Dude, Dude. Anyways, do your thing. Do your Yelp thing. It
No.
sounds cool.
That's I think I probably will look into it. I haven't had time, to be honest.
Basically, it's going to break down like this. One day, a restaurant's going to say, "Hey, Angel, will you come to our restaurant and we'll comp your meal if you give us a Yelp review."
See, that's the other thing that I thought about already. If they do comp my meal, I would feel obligated to give them a good review, and that I will not do.
No.
That's the point, though. That's kind of the point.
Yeah, okay, so here's the thing. Say I'm a new restaurant and I need reviews. Say I need somebody to give me a fair and honest shot, and I feel like I have fantastic food. Like I need to get the word out about my food.
I would be blunt, dude.
Yeah, and that's the whole point of what an influencer is supposed to do. You're supposed to be able to give an honest and fair opinion of what you actually believe.
But when money gets involved,
most people view
That's
it.
why you don't
Yeah.
have to accept the money. The accepting of the money is, okay, I love your brand and your product. This is something I believe in, and I want to help your brand grow by using my platform to promote and push your product. For instance, I am an avid Pepsi drinker, and I drink Pepsi every single day. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up 35 Pepsi cans, and I'm going to shoot an apple off the end of the last Pepsi can with a bow and arrow. And I'm a bow and arrow influencer, basically.
I'd buy that for $1.
Well, that's how it's supposed to work. And so the content that you're creating, you're accepting money for the product placement of putting Pepsi in your video. Okay? If you don't like Pepsi, you like Coke, then why would you say yes to Pepsi? Point blank.
Yeah.
Which actually happened
Of
to
course.
one of the Kardashian girls, one of the Jenner
And
kids.
it also happened to Chappelle. He
Remember-
said,
remember-
I've done commercials for Coke and Pepsi.
Yeah, but do you remember? No, do you remember how there was that one where there was like a protest or something, like a very generic protest, and,
Well, yeah.
and was it Kylie or I don't even know.
Kylie,
Fucking
it was
all
during the Black
interchangeable.
Lives Matters,
She comes out and she goes up to the cop and brings out the Pepsi, and it was like, "Oh, Pepsi, okay,
Everyone's
problem solved, everybody. You can go home now."
Everyone's all dancing and
Yeah.
everything. They're trying to recreate that one where you remember where the girl gets the flower and puts it in the gun
Yeah.
from Vietnam. And
So
yeah, it
there are
just doesn't
levels to
translate.
this. There's obvious there's like the low level influencer who has a couple thousand followers, and then you start getting into the extremes when you hit like 70,000 to 100K kind of followers, and then you get to like
The millions and stuff.
the millions. And when you hit the millions, you're like, I mean, you asked earlier, celebrities versus influencers. I think when you become a certain level of celebrity, your celebrity immediately like will put you into this category of an influencer, because if you start your platform, you're gonna blow up, right? And so the thing about it is, when it comes to celebrities and being on that way up A-lister level, they get contracts all day.
Yeah.
And so it's their managers who are negotiating, "Oh yeah, she drinks Pepsi all the time, but I just saw her with a Coke 2 weeks ago, so I'll take one contract and then I'll sign that contract, and then oops, guess what, we did another contract like 3 weeks later." And then it's like it makes the celebrity who actually does drink Coke and Pepsi, she doesn't care, she likes caffeine, so she wants soda with caffeine in it. And so she's down with both. She doesn't really care. And she does one thing saying like, "Oh, yeah, this is great," because she's reading off a script or a teleprompter. And then, "Oh, that's the wrong product." And then she switches over and, "Okay, go ahead. You're going to influence something."
Sorry, I was listening to it, but I got thirsty,
Sucking
and I had
down
this
a Capri.
wonderful taste of Capri Sun,
Oh,
strawberry kiwi. I really enjoy it. I'm just kidding.
I'm being influenced to go get one myself.
You should definitely get one.
after I heard him.
The sponsorship of Capri Sun is not the sponsorship of ONLYouCast.
But we will definitely
I'll
take
take it,
sponsorship. I
I'll
love
take it.
You know, honestly, I love Capri Suns. If anybody wanted to send me Capri Suns, I would be a fan of you forever.
You know, they should make them larger for like adults.
They should.
Right?
That is actually brilliant.
Yeah.
They could charge more for
Yeah,
them.
Capri Sun XL or some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
But
maybe,
see-
maybe put a little bit of like caffeine in it, or
Yeah,
like, or
some-
something that's like
A little bit of pep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that
Leave it as is. Leave it as is. Because once you start adding all that extra crap to it, you're killing adults.
Well, you have Capri Sun XL, then you'll have Capri Sun Triple XL. You know,
They
And
call
then
them-
triple
call-
X, where it's just alcohol.
Call them bladder busters.
Oh, because that bladder pussy.
see, look at us. We're building a line right here. Look at that. We're giving it
We're
out. We're giving it away
influencers.
for
Yeah.
free.
Hey, we're influencers.
We're just influencers.
But that's actually how it goes.
Yeah.
If that would have been a user generated content, because you actually believe in Capri Suns, you're literally drinking one right now. And
But see how easy it was for me to be like, oh, that's delicious. And then the product placement is there, like right off the bat. It's kind of like product placement in movies where all of a sudden they're drinking the Capri Sun kind of oddly from behind, so the label's to the front. No one drinks it that way. Everyone drinks it with the blank side
Always
out.
drink it like
Best
that, so
one
you
is
know
still-
what flavor I'm drinking.
The best one is still Wayne's World. I think they are the ones who did that. Remember, like when they're sitting around.
People
the
just
thing-
do things for money, and I think that's just sad, really.
and he's all dressed
And Reeboks.
on Reebok stuff, and then he has like the Doritos bag.
Yeah. I really can't talk about this right now. I really have a headache. Here, have one of these. New print. Little. Yellow. Different.
You would say that's a choice of a different generation.
No, that is the choice of the new generation.
and then he
Pepsi.
puts up a Pepsi and he's drinking it.
Yeah, that's it's true. That's
That was so
how
great.
I feel sometimes. Or even, I mean, they were making fun of it. But let's go to a movie, World War Z. The whole chaos is happening. Brad Pitt stops by a vending machine. Remember, this is already the dystopian apocalypse and stuff. And these he just basically has this thing where he kind of cured the zombies and stuff. So he stops. The zombies are like causing chaos around him. He stops to get to the vending machine and get a Pepsi, and then drinks it with the label towards the camera and does the whole.
Hey, well, you know what? I just want to add though. On our last podcast, we introduced the word dystopian to Angel. We totally taught him, and then look at him using the word. Yay! Everybody, yay! He's using the
I
word.
call it
dystopian.
anti-utopia.
I think I don't have a problem with.
Sneezing? Yeah, you do.
Yeah. Okay. I don't have a problem with product placement if it's done tastefully.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
It's delicious.
I agree.
I mean,
no,
some things.
when it's done naturally,
Yeah.
or organically, that's when it's done right. When it's forced, like that World War Z Pepsi infomercial there, that part, that is cringeworthy galore.
Yeah, when
bro.
you're in the middle of a story and you stop in the middle of like everything to try to like do product placement. For instance, this is gonna blow your mind. I never saw all of the product placement for Starbucks in Fight Club.
Oh, really?
It just never dawned on me.
That's intentional. David Lynch did it like as a in joke where it's like, yeah, there's Starbucks in almost every scene because of that reason. It's like he wanted to prove a point where we're numb to product placement.
Yeah.
And it's true. It fucking works.
But
that whole opening scene going through the basket, that's fucking genius.
All
dude.
that's what I'm saying. That in the context of what you're witnessing and seeing and absorbing, that's great. That's great. A movie. It should be like that. It shouldn't be so in your face that like the camera pans in and then like right there in the left corner of the camera is like the Starbucks cup. Like that drives me nuts.
Yeah.
I don't want to be marketed to that way. I don't want somebody, because what if I don't really care for Starbucks that day, or I'm just not in the mood, or I'm fasting from it and I just want to stay off of it.
That the Starbucks cup was left in one of those episodes of the Game of Thrones.
Yeah. That's fucking hilarious. And then they went back and corrected it later. But I love that. I saw it live and I didn't notice it until they pointed it out like a couple of hours later. And I'm like, oh my God, that is so bad, dude. It's bound to happen, dude. If you guys ever record, little things are going to slip through.
It completely took me out of the story.
There's a guy in jeans. There's a guy in jeans and a white T-shirt and a cowboy straw hat in Pirates of the Caribbean in the background. It's one of the crew guys that didn't know that he was on set, like that he was on camera, and it's just in there. It's just in the background. It's like
hilarious.
wow.
See, and stuff like that is a good little Easter egg, because I don't catch a lot of those things.
The canisters in Gladiator on the chariot that make the chariot pop and break off. When it falls with the bottom facing the camera. You see two big ass canisters underneath on the film, dude. It's fucking hilarious.
There's so many moments like that in movies and stuff like that, in TV shows where you have these things that sneak in, and those are like little Easter eggs that like I think are hilarious. I watched a video on like all the things that happened in the background on I think it was Family Matters. All the moments where like the characters broke character or whatever, and you can see like people in the background. You can see the boomstick like come in and hit the actor in the head.
In the head,
and like little moments like that. Like I would never catch that if I was just watching.
If you watch It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, they break character all the time.
Oh yeah.
But they do things to try to not show it. Like Charlie Day, he has this habit of like looking around the room, and then like he's acting like he's looking around, and then he looks behind him. He's actually cracking up at that point.
Yeah. So, okay. I know we're going to get into Ultramania on one of these episodes coming up soon.
Mm-hmm.
And I just got to say, recently in wrestling, there was a moment that I absolutely love because I know what was going on behind the scenes. So this is for all you new school wrestling fans. There's a Roman Reigns moment where he's supposed to be in charge, and he's supposed to be serious, and he's supposed to be chastising his little cousin. And there's like this infiltrator to the group, and they're called the Usos. And so this infiltrator to the group is like, hey, take it easy. Like, don't pick on him. You know, like, take it easy. He's just not feeling very Usi today. And the crowd like laughed so hard, but you can see everybody in the ring starts to break character.
Does that feel very Uzi today?
It got over so good and so big that like they turned it into a shirt and they made it a whole thing. But like they started laughing so hard, like you could see him like rubbing his hands across his face because he was trying to like not laugh. And then like even Roman breaks character, like he's dead center of camera, and he's like, "Is that what it is? You don't feel very Uzi?" And like everyone's just cracking up. It is.
I gotta see that.
Yeah. Send me a link,
yeah,
please.
That's one of the few things that made me like recently enjoy wrestling.
Is The Rock now an influencer, do you think?
Absolutely.
Oh hell yeah, man.
Absolutely. Under Armour.
A celebrity and an influencer by far seem to be the same thing.
No.
Except they have different levels plus the platform that they're on. A celebrity will never call themselves an influencer because it's
true. It's
degrading because it came from the land of the internet and this and that.
Yeah.
Whereas celebrity is this. But influencers can reach celebrity status.
That brings me to my next point.
Wait, before you go on, I just want to address that because a celebrity is not necessarily an influencer. For instance, Michael Jordan could influence anything he wants to, but he doesn't endorse stuff, so he's not considered an influencer.
Air Jordans.
Because he stays away.
But because he doesn't mean he doesn't have the capability to do so.
That's Doyle's point.
Yeah, that's my point. A celebrity is someone who's famous, but an influencer is someone who chooses to like influence that product or that brand.
So if I can add something to that, then I mean, so I like what George said about like the celebrity will not call themselves an influencer because their career, their aspiration is celebrity or at least actor, whatever that is. But an influencer who uses the term influencer as their career, and there are people who do that, actively know that they're actively pursuing brands and deals and trying to sell. Whereas like using the Michael Jordan example, while you said he's not an influencer, I would argue that he is an influencer in the sense that he, even in his illustrious career, he hasn't done brands as much as he's done causes, and he's influenced people's opinions towards those causes.
He influenced me to get Hanes.
He did. He was at one point an influencer, but
He
what I'm
influenced
referring
me to get the little Nazi mustache.
He influenced me not to. When he was playing baseball,
White Sox was it?
I think so. I don't know.
He influenced me to watch Space Jam.
He
He
sadly
influenced me
influenced
not
me
to
to
watch
watch
the
Spaceman
sequel.
Legacy, dude. That was terrible, man.
Gatorade. I mean, he was an influencer when he was an active competitor, but since he's retired, he doesn't really endorse stuff. You don't see him post or come out on social media.
That's true.
And so that's why I'm saying that there's a separation between the two.
Which is a whole conspiracy as well, by the way.
Yeah, he's not in outer space.
I
No,
think
not that one.
he's
The whole conspiracy is that basically he got in trouble with his gambling issue.
Oh.
So that's why his father got murdered as a warning and told him you have to fucking retire and lay low. And that's why
Really?
that's the rumor that I heard. That's the conspiracy that I heard.
Yikes.
Didn't they cut his finger off or some shit? He still have all his fingers?
Yeah.
He
All
still has
right,
all his
good.
fingers. He still has all
I was like,
his
who
fingers.
started that?
I don't know.
Being like, they
grew
warned
back.
him.
They grew back.
That's why he can't listen to everything on the internet, you guys. Michael,
Thank
Michael
God.
Jordan has all his
Please don't
fingers.
listen to this, Michael Jordan.
I doubt Michael Jordan is listening to this.
Michael Jordan is a national treasure, by the way. I just want to throw that out there.
Wait,
Michael Jordan's guilty pleasure. He listens to the Ouchcast.
I love them in Creed.
That's Michael B. Jordan.
Oh.
And
My
Michael
bad.
B. Jordan, you know.
Michael be
is
crazy.
Michael B. Jordan is a national treasure. I just want to throw that out there.
Fucking guy.
Wait a minute, how many national treasures do we have now? I mean,
A lot.
I don't
We're
know,
rich.
but Nick Cage is going to be busy for a while.
Hey, national treasure. Nicolas Cage is the
By the
national
way,
treasure.
I just finished watching the TV series, The National Treasure.
Oh, the
Oh,
Disney
trash.
Plus one? Yeah. How was that? I want to know about that. I've been like eyeing it. No?
It's bad, but it's like a car crash where you can't look away.
Is it connected to the movie?
Yeah, it's connected,
How
but
so? Tell me. I need a spoiler.
Because
It's
the
not-
girl is his daughter.
no, it has no connection that way. First of all, like it's all about Mexican culture and Incan and Mayan and Aztec getting together to basically go against the conquistadors, and some hidden history that there's this treasure of these 3 boxes that I still don't understand what the hell the treasure was exactly. And
They have 3 seashells in them.
there's a I know that should have been part of like the dystopian episode, but no, that was the whole thing. And then there's this girl named Jessie Valenzuela she's a dreamer here in the States, and she's like got that gift like Gage in the National Treasure movies with Nicolas Cage. Where she sees things and she's like, wait a minute, and then things start popping up and stuff. So she does all that. Harvey Keitel's character from the movie, Sandusky, the agent, is part of this. He actually dies in this.
Okay.
Spoiler. But he does die in this, and that sets off the whole chain of events.
Okay.
That's about it. And then what's the name? On Ben Gates is the guy from Nicolas Cage. What's the name of the other guy? His helper, his assistant, the comic relief. What's his name in the movie? Remember, there's 3 of them.
Yeah,
There's
it's been a minute
okay.
since
Well,
the movie.
he comes out on this one as himself, but that is it. That's the connection. It's those 2 characters. Everything else about the series is new, and I mean, it's not as fun as National Treasure of the movies, but I mean, it's something. I'm holding over to the 3rd movie, which is going to be made. They already announced
It's
it.
because it doesn't have Nicolas Cage in it with all that
Yeah.
awful acting.
It has to be
Freaking-
Nicolas Cage.
Look.
What was it that the latest movie he came out with Pedro Pascal?
Mm-hmm.
The immense burden of
Talent,
something talent,
of talent,
massive
yeah.
talent or something.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but I heard
It's a good
about
movie.
it. Yeah, I heard it's pretty good. I'm sorry, but I love Nicolas Cage.
He's a
His
national
cheesiness
treasure.
and all. You know, I'm gonna get that on a T-shirt.
Yeah, he's a national treasure. Look, if we are willing to talk about them and hate them, I think to some degree
They're national treasures?
They're national treasures.
So
Just
Trump
in
is a national treasure.
Yeah, he's not a very
Ben Shapiro is a national
huge.
treasure?
They're not worth a lot. Okay, but here's the thing
Ben
about
Shapiro was not a national treasure.
Ben Shapiro is not a national treasure, and let me explain why. Because he has not done things that
Guys
people
sound
love.
anti-Semitic.
No, we're anti-Shapiro. You gotta get
Okay.
the difference. I am not talking about his culture.
You are fake news.
I am talking about him being a butthole.
Yeah, he kind of is a butthole.
He
Kinda?
like, okay, here's the
lot.
thing.
He's a
You can
big
be right, but it's how you're right that matters. And I think so often people are, on their high horse about having good information that everyone's fighting to be right and who's right. But like, you can still be kind to people when you're right. You don't have to be an ass. You don't have to be a jerk.
I mean, I suppose, but how many people, when they're right in an argument, are going to take the time to be polite to somebody?
Then you're wrong. So you're not right anyway because you're being an ass, and that doesn't improve or help anybody. The whole point of you sharing that information in the first place was to educate someone so that you guys could be on the same page. But if you just want to argue about how you're smarter than everyone and how you're right all the time, then all you're doing is creating conflict and chaos between 2 people, and that's part of the problem. So you're just as wrong for being right if you are a jerk about it.
Yeah.
So it doesn't, like, at some point, does it make anything better to be right, or is it part of the problem that's making everything worse?
Wow, I 100% agree with everything you just said, man. Like, I used to listen to Ben Shapiro mainly because I wanted to hear what the other side would say. This was after the 2016 election, and that was actually my biggest like conflict with him is that there is a way to be right about things, as far as like information, the way it's disseminated. I mean, I can't even talk anymore. As a teacher, I want to teach people things, and I don't necessarily want to be right about it. I just want to give information. I think Ben Shapiro is a person who doesn't want to educate people. I just think he wants to be right. He wants to push his agenda and movement.
Wants to show what a big brain he has.
Yeah, and those facts, his facts are he's factual. You know, I've listened to him and Candace Owens many times, and what they say is correct. But like I said, if you're not likable when you say it, then I don't really want to listen to you. And all you're doing is creating drama and problems.
I wouldn't say correct. Most of the time, I mean, yeah, sometimes it might be correct, but it's just I think it's in the package, like you say. It's the way you deliver the data that is the issue with me.
And there's things that are subjective that like they can be given an opinion on, and they don't say that in that context.
Yeah,
they don't say this is my opinion.
They make it factual.
Yeah,
when it's not.
And they try to like stand on their opinion because they have this level of statistics, but statistics can be skewed.
Yeah,
that's why 90% of the stuff I say is made up.
Even that statistic is wrong. Even that percentage is made up.
So
but even like the mass media, dude, like they do fear mongering. You know, like are killer bees coming to California? News at 11. That whole thing.
Some might say they're already here.
Yeah, that whole thing is like it's fear mongering to the best, you know, to the masses, and has some kind of influence.
It's because fear is an emotion, and
emotion.
A simple context to think about it is people gravitate towards when you can trigger their emotions. This is one of the things that makes wrestling so fantastic, is that the characters that you watch, the reason that you hate the bad guy is because the bad guy cheats, and when you watch the bad guy and the good guy fighting, you want to see one side win, right? But the bad guy is taking shortcuts while the good guy is fighting fair.
So what happens when the bad guy is making points that are true and he's coming off like an asshole?
That is the problem with modern wrestling, is when you start
that sounded personal.
When you start to skew things and it starts to blur the lines, and you don't have a clear defined good guy and you don't have a clear defined bad guy, and everybody's the bad guy and everybody wants to be the good guy, and that's basically what society has become. Everybody thinks that they're the good guy in their own story.
Yep.
But in all reality, because everyone's fighting to be right all the time, everyone's really the bad guy.
There is no more set, like, clear understanding of morality. Then everybody can be their hero.
But I think the problem is when you villainize anybody. Once again, it's putting people in a box and trying to label somebody. Any group in any category. If I treat you like the villain, then really I'm the villain, because nobody's the villain. That's the problem. That's the biggest issue that we see, is that there's really no one villain. We're all people, so we all make good choices and bad choices. And I think that for me and what I believe, I definitely believe in God. So I think that the villainy is in not understanding that we are all flawed, and that there is only one perfect source and one perfect creation. And that's what I believe. I don't force that on people, but I do share that with anybody who will listen, because I think that that's the key to understanding who we are as individuals. If none of us are good, then why are we worshiping or putting things on a pedestal that aren't good? And that's basically anything man-made, anything created by man is not good. It might be better, or it might have like its levels of good, but like when you start to put things on a pedestal that were created just like you and me, then it's not any better than you and me. And then the whole concept of like the evil cultures and corporations is that these people at the top, these elitists, think that they're better, and somehow because their resources or because of their morality or because of their actions, they think that they have a right to claim that they're better than you, but you are just as much of a human being as they are. Mm-hmm. And so that's where I think that the big issue comes from, and that's why I believe what I believe. I believe that the only thing that is above everything is God.
So the problem with influencers in that instance is that influencers are flawed, and yet we in a parasocial relationship that we built with them, with influencers, we look to them for advice. We look to them for the things we want to eat, the things that we want to feel, to the point that we'll give them money, right? Like, so think of Twitch streamers. Like, people are giving them like hundreds of dollars just to sit there and watch them play video games, right? I mean, these Twitch streamers.
I'm in the wrong business.
Yeah, for reals, man. These Twitch streamers are making so much money, and really the only thing they're contributing to their audience is just the antics of what they're doing. And so people, in order to feel like they're part of that relationship, give them money. And there's actually a streamer recently that was caught on stream watching deepfakes of his friends, people that he's part of a community with. You have to pay money to get these deepfakes done, and he was caught on camera watching these because he had flipped over his screen, because you know how they do the shared screen thing, and on it was the deepfake. And so this guy, I think his name is Atrioc.
Okay, but what was the
Lots of
deepfake
trouble.
What was the deepfake of?
It was there were three different. One of them was Pokimane. The other one, I forget the other two, but basically they were friends of his, people he knows. He knows like in person that he hangs out with.
Yeah.
And two of them are married, so he's friend. In fact, I think he was roommate.
like pornographic.
Yeah, deepfake pornography.
I thought it was just like someone like a deepfake, like those Arnold Schwarzenegger
Sorry.
superimposed into like Step Brothers or something like that. Those kind of videos. I didn't know.
My apologies. I should have been more clear. You're right. Deepfake pornography.
Oh wow,
Yeah. And
that's
so
scummy, man.
So but that's my thing. Is that my point is that
especially
when we
if
look
it's people that you know, like that's. I mean, it's ingenious, but still, it's scummy as hell. That's disgusting. Where
can I get these?
Where can I?
Well, the guy, the creator of these deepfakes.
Two questions. Where? And can you guys just like sit still so I can take two pictures of you guys real quick?
Sick mother. Okay, so the point though.
Only if you put the microphone in front of me.
Well, I mean, how else is he going to be able to simulate a penis?
Frothing gash. Okay, real quick though,
Yes.
I went off. We went off on a tangent.
I was bringing it back, man. I'm talking about influencers.
You did bring him back with the influencer. So, but my point, what I was going to make before you took over the conversation, but I was going to say
enlightened the conversation.
No,
Redirected.
He darkened the conversation. No pun intended. But okay,
Wow.
what are some of the what are some of the most famous influencers that you can think about?
That sounded racist, man.
Well, not us for sure. That's
No. We're not influencers at all.
That's why I said under the influence, because that's where we must be on every episode.
Jesus Christ, tell me about it.
Okay, so the people that there's a guy who on YouTube that I watch. His name is Philip DeFranco. He's a news guy. I don't think he'd call himself an influencer, but I mean, really, that's what he's doing, right? He's reporting on the news, but he hawks brands all the time. So I would say that he's an influencer more than anything else.
Definitely.
The Kardashians, they're
Oh,
influencers?
that's all they have.
That's all they are,
They are the proto
They're the
example of
godmothers of influencers.
I mean, what was she famous for? For getting porn, yeah, and then
That her mom released.
That's a
it
rumor.
true?
No, that's not rumor. That's fact.
Really?
Yeah, she released it.
Oh,
I mean, with
She's
Kim's
genius.
consent, but they're like, just make it look like it's not.
She's
but come
a
on.
genius,
Yeah,
man.
it was a genius move. It really was.
I mean, if that's true, then yeah, I would.
But
say
I
that's
want the
genius
sequel.
Move.
Okay, so
But
what?
that's some dirty ass
don't.
shit.
Yeah, it is. It is dirty, dude. Come on.
Kanye West
I
is
don't
crazy
care
enough. He
how
might
she
release it
convinced
at some point.
Kim to do it, or even if it was Kim who decided to do it, the fact that she rolled with it, that's dirtiness.
If it's true, though,
if
I mean,
it's
you
true.
say it's fact,
Let's
but
be
I don't
honest.
know.
Okay,
Let's be honest.
I'm just bullshitting about the
There,
fact.
in the entertainment industry and in certain marketing circles, pimping out your kids is not a new thing. It is not, especially amongst celebrities.
But they weren't celebrities. That's my whole point.
They had
But-
influence in the space, is what I'm saying.
Okay, but what other influencers do you think are out there besides the ones? we just
Andrew
mentioned?
Tate.
Andrew Tate is
Absolutely.
a bad influencer, but he's an influencer.
Yeah.
I hope he gets what's
Have you
coming
guys?
to him.
No, supposedly it turned
He
out
had
that.
CP. I hope he gets what was coming
Yeah.
to him.
Did you know that he? Rumor has it supposedly that it was entrapment by the two girls.
Possibly.
And they have him on a
Possibly.
some kind of chat log.
Look,
Well, some of
Say-
the evidence
saying,
was
here's
set up by
here's
them.
the reason
Yeah.
why. Here's the reason why I'm knocking Andrew Tate. I don't
because
think
he's a douchebag who
well,
fucking he's just toxic.
Okay, so once
Yeah.
again, you could say something and be right, and then the way you say it makes you kind of wrong about it. I think like he's trying to stand up for men and telling men that they need to be more masculine and that this is the way that the world works and blah 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 blah. But he's also being a dick about it to females, and at the same time,
No, he's being a dick in general, dude. Like,
well, true,
dude, come on. He says he doesn't believe in books.
right?
What the fuck is that, dude?
Okay,
Doesn't believe in books.
They don't exist.
And then, he doesn't.
Right now, like on the internet and on YouTube, there's a huge trend of. I'm laughing at that pic. That's really funny.
Yeah, he looks like Ren Hoek, doesn't he?
does, yeah, he does.
If you really look about it, he has that weird face. It's just. Yeah,
So there's
whatever.
like a very movement to like a I don't know what to call it, like, but basically a pro man, like, you know, like masculinity,
the toxic
movement.
masculinity thing.
No,
Well,
no.
They call it alphas, right?
It's called
Or sigmas.
men going their own way.
Smegma. That is. I'm sorry, that's stupid, dude.
Yeah.
Come on, dude. That's
It's a men going their own way is in context to the
fucking
feminist
troglodytes, dude.
Yes, it's in response to the feminist movement, because you have the feminist movement saying that men are guilty for all these crimes, and then you have the men going their own way movement and all these influencers in that space saying women, but look at what women do, and they're pointing out all these things. Once again, not realizing, hey, we're all flawed, we all have problems, and so not one group is right, but they're both right at the same time.
Yeah, and in those space, people are right, but it's how they're being right. I mean, that's one of
adapt,
them.
adopt, and improve. That's my
Absolutely.
creed. That's how it should be, dude. Fucking treat everyone equally, dude. Don't be even the douchebags like the Shapiros and all that shit. I mean, it is what it is. I'm not gonna fucking like cancel them.
Here's what my issue is with men going their own way. Like, okay, let's assume and accept accountability for a second. If we're men going our
Never.
own way, right? Shouldn't you be able to find one of those high value women that you brag about and say that exist, and that men should only find like those women exist? So you're this shallow piece of crap that can't find a good woman because you're either hunting in circles of like terrible women, or like there are beautiful women out there who are willing to settle down, willing to support a man, willing to do all kinds of great things for a woman. I mean, for a man. And the problem is that we have these influencers in the men going their own way saying how bad women are, but all of them are single.
So yeah, and the influencers in that particular space, that's the exact language they use. They refer to high valued women, and they have this criteria for what they are. And then right now they've even coined what is it? There's the blue pill, the
Red pill?
black pill is the one. The black pill is the new movement from that. I still don't know the particulars on it. I've just heard it, and I saw a debate between two influencers on this, and it was an interesting debate, I have to say. But I still don't quite understand it, so I can't really speak too much of it, other than just say that there is definitely a lot of traction in that space from the influencer perspective, which tells me that I mean, when we talk about influencers, we're talking like 70,000, 100,000, a million different people, subscribers across all of these platforms, and that's how they're getting this information. That is their primary source of information. So then when we bring it back to the influencer talk that we're having, then it tells you that influencers are very I don't want to say dangerous space, because I mean maybe that's not what we're trying to do here, but there's definitely a space that we need to consider when we're getting information and what power they have over that, because literally in their name they're influencers, and they're definitely influencing the discourse in our current society.
True.
Mic drop. No.
Boom. Pokemon. That an influencer? That's the
A
girl
sexy influencer.
Pokemon thing. Or what is that?
She is a streamer. She plays games.
Oh, that's
but
why
she's, I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe she has an OnlyFans, and that's kind of the direction that's made her most. But she's also known for being like business savvy. She's turned it into a $1 million business for
she's
herself.
the one who was selling used bath water or something like that?
I think so. Let me
Is that the
let me
one?
look that
I
up,
don't know what
because
she looks
wanna-
like. I'm not too sure,
see,
but I think I remember hearing
this-
someone was selling, or was it the fart jars?
Oh yeah,
Which one was
that
it?
doesn't count as an influencer though. She just
That's just fucking porn, huh?
Yeah,
Okay.
those are OnlyFans things, and if you have a big following on, this is one of the reasons why. Okay, so there's 3 things that can make you an influencer: education, entertainment, and erotica. And erotica is the one where you're a hot chick, and so a bunch of dirty dudes follow you, but like you really aren't engaging. You couldn't sell them a t-shirt to save your life because they don't want to see you in a t-shirt. They only want to see you in that little ironclad bikini. And so OnlyFans is primarily all erotica.
That's
And
all
so,
it is.
and basically, the more erotic you can make your OnlyFans, depending on who you are.
You
if
know,
you're famous,
you're not gonna believe this. I've never fucking gone OnlyFans. I have no idea what it's really about,
Right.
and
It-
I really
it
have seen
originally-
nothing for me to actually.
Just for the sake of correcting, so Pokimane is just known for Twitch streaming and YouTube ASMR videos, and she's done other ventures, and she's also worked with Bella Porch on like I guess she came on one of her songs. So
I don't know who that
she's
is.
she's like considered the number one stream. Bella Porch also was she was an Instagram
That's
influencer
why.
who became a musician, and she had like a really big hit.
See, that's the issue that I have. Like,
Yeah.
I couldn't name any influencers from Instagram if you put a gun to my head. I can't name any of them.
Well-
I have no idea. Then all of a sudden, someone comes out. I'm like, who's that? Like,
Here's a
I feel
concept.
out of the loop when all that
Here's
shit.
a concept of why. Okay, so our age gap, we don't spend more time on social media than we do on our TV. We actually care more about TV. So if we see someone on TV, we're more likely to be influenced by them. Hence the Michael Jordan. Hence the celebrity
Right.
aspect. Our generation will be influenced by the celebrity that we see on TV. The younger generation, I think X and later, they spend more time on social media than they do on TV. So their celebrities are who they see
I'm
on
Generation
there.
X.
Sorry,
You mean Z?
Z and later. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Z and later, everything that they see, 90% of their... I mean, like, you guys trip out on this. Do you know that guys in today's culture, like from Z and later, they don't ask a girl for their number anymore. They ask them for their Instagram. It's the same thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's insane.
It's a total... I mean, it is and it isn't.
No,
Because
it
like,
makes sense,
Yeah,
but
you
I mean,
think
it's
about
still
it,
insane.
and it's like, I would rather talk to you on
It's
Instagram.
not like we're like fucking asking them, like, hey, telegram me,
Yeah.
like telegraph, Yeah,
Yeah.
that's-
no,
that
what,
looks cool,
it's
yeah.
not what your digits. It's what's your handle.
What's your handle? Oh, what's your handle?
Dang,
Yeah,
that's
I've heard
crazy
that.
because
I
I
think that's a
wonder,
trip, man.
like back in the day when they were sending those telegrams, they're like, who is she? Who is the?
I saw what you were wearing.
I
Stop.
heard 5 beeps in that.
I
That's
will-
not my name.
I will be in Tombstone in 2 months.
What
Stop.
did you just beep? Beep, 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 beep.
That was 2 months.
Beep, 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 beep,
I
beep,
got
beep,
2 months to
beep,
get the fuck out of here.
beep. I will see you in 3.
You beat the wrong name and then you in trouble.
Who's Joanna? No, but like it is a trip if you think, what's your handle? That's insane. Like, I really don't like. There's a good side that I do. I mean, I do follow some, but I don't follow those. What I do follow is like, you guys ever hear of Tizzy Ant?
No.
Tizzy Ant is this fellow, kind of actually looks like a white version of me, big white beard, slick back hair, and he's like a social justice influencer on TikTok and Instagram, which basically they'll send him videos and he tries to find like, hey, this guy was attacked here, or this one did something racist, who are they, and tries to dox them, but only if they're guilty. He's actually very good at that, and he's made a lot of enemies over there. But I think that's a form of influencers as well, but I think that's the good side when done properly. There's
Yeah,
some that
when
don't
done.
do it properly.
Yeah.
Some that will point fingers at someone and dox someone else that had nothing to do with it. This guy at least does his due diligence and goes out and,
like the
So-
and makes
influencing
sure he gets
vigilante.
everything
I
out.
just saw this video on YouTube, and it's this girl going. She's looking at this guy sitting down, and it's a guy in his jeans and in his boots, and he's like a heavier set older man. He's probably like in his late 60s, mid 60s, early 70s, right? But he's sitting in the gym. He's not working out. He's just kind of looking around. And this girl's going, this dude is a creep. He's a weirdo. He's just sitting here. I've been sitting next to him for a half an hour, and he hasn't even noticed me. And he's just watching girls work out, and he's sitting here, and it's disgusting. And I already reported him to management.
the
Hold on.
funny part is, she's more mad that he hasn't noticed her. Go on.
I thought the exact same thing when she said it. I was like, well, how ugly are you that he hasn't looked at you once? Like that was my initial thought. But then immediately after this girl is reporting this guy, this, I would say like a gym influencer, this trainer pops up and says, how dare you? He said, how dare you judge this man? You don't know his story. You don't know what he's been through. You don't know if he lost his wife and his kids in a horrible car accident, and he comes to the gym to feel connected to humans, because I train a lot of older people, and a lot of them do come to the gym just to feel connected to humanity. He said, we can be better. If you really felt like you had an issue with him, you could have approached him individually, and then if you still felt like there was an issue, you could have went to management. But how dare you post this stuff for clout. We need to do better. And he left it at that.
And I was like, wholeheartedly agree.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of them that just do shit like that and fucking point fingers without knowing the whole story and all the context and blow it up into something that it really is
absolutely.
not. I wholeheartedly. Tizian isn't like that. There's another one called Alex Enamorado or something like that. That is he basically defends the vendors, the street vendors here in LA.
I've seen that.
Great gentleman. He does some wonderful work.
Yeah.
But I have seen some out there that are very, how can I put it, morons that don't know about getting the whole context of what's going on, and they just impose their own judgmental fucking opinions and as a fact, and that's how it goes. And I really, that's the downside to that.
That whole gym issue that's been a hot button issue recently, where more and more people have, like, a lot of females have been put under the gun for that, or I mean, maybe a spotlight is probably the better term. They've been put on a spotlight for them posting that guys are staring at them, when in reality, you know, there's a lot of room for interpretation of what the guys are really doing. I mean, I'm sure that there's a history of guys being creeps in gyms. I'm sure.
I've seen some videos as well of those fucking incels that go into fucking gyms just to harass the people. Like, well, fucking bitch, and I've seen those too.
That aside,
that's a whole different thing.
That's a whole different thing. But I'm just saying, in a natural setting, I'm sure there's instances where a female goes into a gym and they feel uncomfortable because maybe guys have made them feel uncomfortable for the obvious reasons. But I think generally speaking, because it's a shared space, you know, there's lots of room for interpretation on what really happens. But the problem, though, is because people are putting it on social media now and trying to catch these people. It's you're no longer leaving interpretation. You're just blasting people. And under the current environment we're in which people are just out to gotcha, you know, getcha.
It's on video.
It's on video. It's caused a lot of problems, and so that's
have
also
you seen those videos?
movement.
Have you seen those videos where like the girls like has the camera set up because they're recording themselves or whatever, and then they're very uncomfortable because someone's like staring or something. Yeah. And it's funny because then they'll be like, "Oh, this guy's a creep. He's just staring at me." And then the guy will come over like, "Excuse me, are you almost done? Because I need the machine." And she'll be like, "Oh, yeah." And she feels like
there's been
those are fucking hilarious to me.
There's
like,
been that instance.
They're not hilarious to me because I've been waiting on that machine for 25 minutes and you
and you haven't used it properly.
Yeah. It's a bicep curl, and you've been using it for your legs. Your butt does not go there. That's where my face goes. You heifer. Move.
The views of Doyle are no, they're correct.
Whoa, that's. I don't think we can drink to that one. If you're out there playing the drinking game, when that one you cannot drink to that one.
No, that one doesn't go.
Because we all agree with that one.
That
is the beauty of the
factual. Yeah, that is the beauty.
I think it's sad because you know,
it's just sad. Really,
it's just sad.
You know, can I say Angel knows how to minimize everything. I love it. That's why I love you,
That's
man.
the whole point.
That's why I like doing this show, because you can't, to be on the show, you can't take yourself too serious.
Absolutely,
you've got to shake it off, dude. You can't fucking. Otherwise, you're gonna be around fucking getting all bitter and.
I just want the audience
going on talking, so going fucking bitch. You know,
wait. What you say earlier? Fuck that puto.
Fuck that puto.
Me, George, and Enrique have had some incredible points that we were going to make. And we got into it, and the moment you start to make it, Angel says something, and like we're like, screw it. And
you have to. You can't take yourself too serious. Your life is too short.
If you guys want to know why this show is so random, that is exactly why.
My ADHD kicks in. Sorry.
All over the place.
No, I'm in the middle of a point, and I look over, and there's Angel like sucking on that microphone, and that's why I didn't even say it on. That's why I said stop doing that, and I didn't say why. So if you guys are wondering in that podcast,
they know.
Why I said,
they already know. Come on. What are you doing? Doyle is like playing with his gloves. I have no idea what he's doing.
There's a string on my
glove. He's not dancing? Or I thought he was like doing the wave. I was about to get in on that.
Yeah. Does that going to make us influencers in the future?
Maybe,
probably.
Hopefully. I feel like, I you know what?
But look,
give me free shit, man.
Well, I thought about it because, you know, we've discussed this, and like if we were ever to do sponsors and things like that, like I would love to be sponsored by Better Health.
Yeah, me too.
I'd be down for that.
Just because, like, I mean, that's something that I think people should encourage. There's this fantastic app called Bless.
I heard of it.
Okay, I get it. It's like Bless, Christian theme, whatever.
I've heard it. It's actually really good app.
Yeah, I'm on it just so everyone knows. But
this
what it
is not a sponsored.
It is not a sponsored. I just think I stand by the
the
concept.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. What it is say you have a need. You go on Bless, and then you post your need. And if someone has the resources or the capability to help you out, they can bless you, period. It's not talking too much about it. Maybe they might want to know your story, but that's what it is. Oh, my baby doesn't have clothes for the weekend. Oh, guess what? My baby just grew out of all these clothes. I was about to take him down to the place. I can bless you with all these clothes. That's what that app is for. And I actually thought about an app like this years ago, but it's just a way for people to barter what they have, because if things got too expensive, maybe we could barter with each other and help each other out in that regard. Because if we couldn't afford anything but we need stuff, then money is not going to really help anybody. It's going to be inconsequential. But if I have things that you need, then maybe we can barter for it, right?
Mm-hmm. Back in the 80s and 90s, there was a hotline in, I want to say, New York, that was basically like a 1-800 confessional, where you would go on there and just talk about whatever you wanted. And there'd be a lot of people out there just sad and, you know, feeling self-pity, and they would just go on there and record, you know, hey, no names, you know, I'm feeling lost, I feel lonely. And the guy would basically do like a anthology and then release them as a radio show with his perspective on top of it. I think it was a really beautiful thing.
Is there an archive of that? I mean, that sounds amazing.
No, there's not. It got dark though. The guy who actually did it there's a podcast actually that I could forward to you,
please.
and I'm
on
sorry,
the
but it's basically what it is
Outcast.
there's a podcast where they talk about the fact that this guy had all these recordings, and all of a sudden one day he started getting a message from a gentleman who was claiming to be a serial killer.
Oh.
And he would actually go on there, and it got really dark. And
Wow.
and this gentleman also got dark with it because he was suffering from self-depression. And well, it's a really sad story. The outcome is not the best.
Sounds interesting, though.
But yeah, the concept of, I mean, I know he's not the only one. I know it's been done a couple times in the 70s and 80s where they set up, when answering machines with the little tapes were created and stuff, it really took off where there would be people doing this. But he's the one who actually archived for years. I think it was over the course of 8 years that he did these things. And I think that's a form of actually some kind of therapy of sorts, because, you know, it gives a voice to the voiceless.
Yeah.
Also, our friend Marco, aka Brainstain, he set up a line years ago where what he did is he had people record, like call in and record, and then what he turned around is made music with any recordings that were on there. It's actually very beautiful. It's on SoundCloud. If you look at Brainstain, with a Z, brain, and then Stain with a big Z, you know, Stain. He has it on there on SoundCloud. If you guys want to check that out, it's actually very beautiful stuff that he did.
You should post a link to that on our website, and also to that other podcast. That sounds fascinating.
I don't remember what it was. It's like 8 episodes. It's like a limited series, but I'll find it and I'll send it over to you. It was intriguing. It was kind of a sad ending to it, but I mean, I think the concept was great, and I think that's a form of therapy, and it's something that I kind of wanted to do, but I just never really.
That's why I think if we ever get into, I would love to get into the space of, like, if we're helping or we're influencing in any way, we're influencing people to be better. You know, helping others, being better as just better humans. You know, better humanity.
Adapt, adopt, and improve.
Hey, I'm all about that. Question: so, if everything. Do you think influencing has gone too far?
No.
Unregulated.
Oh.
Yes, unregulated, yes.
Okay. So
there should be some asterisks to some of those.
I agreed. I think
I got some questions.
Yeah.
I got some questions here. These are my questions for the influencing space. These are based off of real scenarios and real things that have happened. But is asking followers for money wrong? What's acceptable versus what's not acceptable?
Here's how I feel about that. I don't like asking for money.
Sure.
I don't like asking people to be like, follow us, subscribe, get on Patreon. I've never liked it. I understand it's a need to basically carry on whatever we're doing. You know, that's why I kind of like cringe whenever I have to do it. But yeah, I'm not a fan of it at all. But I see why it's needed in that form. When it's asking them for money for donations for something else, that's just. I'm sorry, no.
So I think as part of a service, I mean, so let's say we're providing entertainment, we're providing a platform for discussion. If people want to pay us something because we're doing that. I think that's okay. I think earlier I mentioned about the Twitch streamers that they're getting paid money. People are constantly giving them money for the sake of the company that they're getting. In that instance, it's a very dicey thing, but I think it's similar to what I just said. So I would have to then say that yes, it's okay, but there should be a limit because some people are like going really crazy and donating $500, $600 because mainly just because it's a parasocial relationship in which one side is giving all of the emotion and the other side doesn't even know the other person exists, and that's a dangerous thing. And I think that needs to be somewhat regulated. There should be a cap there somewhere. I think.
Which reminds me.
But overall, no. I think a little bit money being sent because of something we're doing. I think that's okay. I think there's something okay with that.
It's a fine line.
Absolutely.
That's a fine line.
So, do you think the solution would be to audit those reasonings?
Audit? How would you do that, though?
Yeah.
See, and
that's the question.
That's the macro versus micro thing that you mentioned in the last episode. That if you haven't heard it, go back and listen because that last episode was pretty great. But it just basically boils down to some things work on a micro level, and then when you hit them on a macro level, they do not work. And so if you audit people, it might not work on one level where it's great in concept, but it might not work because who's auditing? Can you pay off the auditors, etc.? And there's room for corruption in that.
For context, I'm so sorry, Doyle. For context, like in the micro level, it'd be like me asking Angel, "Hey, Angel, look, I need $10. Can I borrow $10 from you?" And Angel's like, "Cool." But then me asking my audience, guys, I need $10, man. Can you guys get? And everyone gives me $10. That's a line right there. That's on a macro scale now becomes a big issue, right?
Yeah, because
I think that would be a problem.
Yeah, now you have like $2,000 depending on how many followers are willing to donate, and that can lead to some abuse. For sure.
Yeah.
Should it be okay for parents to use their spouses or children for influencing without their permission?
No. Nothing without permission is wrong.
Yep.
So,
nothing without permission
So
is
do
right.
you think it's okay for a mother to post pictures and videos of her baby?
Not for money and clout.
Not for money and clout, no.
But
Okay.
I get the
It's
the
kinda
iffy
like-
area. I mean, I get the sort of gray area that is because there's a lot of like mom influencers that put up their kids on their because of like to like life.
It's like a puppy or a kitten kind of thing.
Well, there's that. That's
like
the wrong
a prop,
side.
Like a prop.
That's the wrong side. But I'm saying on the other side where they do it for the sake of like, this is my mommy lifestyle. These are the things that I'm doing. In a way, they're doing it to try to like work or to show other moms how to do that.
Yeah,
and so it's a kind of an iffy thing. So I think that's where the or what did you call the auditing aspect might come in. But yeah.
Because
it's like, remember a couple last year or something, there was that one influencer who was caught. She accidentally uploaded her outtakes where she's basically directing her son in the car to look more sad.
It looks so. That was so trash.
That was so fucking trashy.
Yeah.
Or that one YouTuber couple that they adopted a Chinese kid, a mentally challenged Chinese kid. And when it became too much to handle, they just got rid of it because they just wanted the clout. Dude, that's fucking dirty.
And
dude.
some years back, I want to say it was about six or 7 years ago, there was a YouTube family, in which the boys, like in that group, they were a mixed family, where the mom was a stepmother of some of them and the mother of the others. And in that, there was a lot of bullying. There was one particular kid that was getting traumatized, and Philip DeFranco was one of the voices that came out against it. And because of that, they were able to get that kid removed from that family, taken back to his biological mom, because it was a mess. And in that instance, they were doing it for YouTube, for money, for influence.
There's also that one podcast that has that one flat earther on there for just clout, just to be like,
Oh,
be
yeah.
part of the more.
clouds
What's it
aren't
called?
real.
Ouchcast?
Ouchcast.
Ouchcast.
Ouch.
Did that? Ouch.
Ouch.
Sorry.
Ouch.
Okay. When is it okay to film real life?
Huh.
What do you mean? Like,
Say
what is
there's a
okay?
car accident out in the front.
As long as no one gets hurt, I think it's okay.
Okay.
Damn, that's tricky.
That's how I
because-
see it. As long as no one gets hurt, either physically or mentally.
So if
I
a
think it's
couple
okay.
if a couple steps out of Target to have an argument by the car or in the car and it gets heated and they're really
That's a private argument unless it gets like other people involved. But that's a private.
But okay, so here's the gray area then. Let's say that the guy starts beating up the wife, and people need to.
Oh no, you gotta
document
break it up.
You gotta break it up, but then what if the only thing they can do is record in order to make sure that
If that's the only thing you could do, that's the only thing you do. But
while
be responsible about it.
Hopefully you're calling the police
Yeah,
before.
call
you
the
do
police,
that,
get evidence,
but you have the
get the
evidence.
video and everything
But
else.
I mean, have you seen the Citizens app? I'm sure you have, right?
Yeah.
And so the Citizens app, the whole thing there is to collect bad things happening around your communities wherever you're at, and then people post videos, and then in that instance you're absolutely capturing real life, like some of the raw stuff that's happening. Police.
That's one of the reasons I asked that question, because these are ethical questions that I think like we need to discuss as a society, because there was a YouTuber who made a video of like a really bad accident, and they were, I'm filming content, and they were filming themselves, but you know, when you do the selfie thing and you're what's going on behind you, and then you know they totally exploited the fact that there was this accident and this person was really bad. And
That's
so
trash.
these are
That's
just
trashy.
questions that I'm asking kind of generally, because I went through a bunch of influencers and saw these bad articles, and so these are the ethical questions that come from those bad articles.
Yeah.
Like, should there be an age limit to who can post and become an influencer?
Yes,
I agree. Yeah.
Yes.
I agree.
Yes, because I want to say your maturity isn't there till you're a little older, and then it's there forever. Anything that you recorded before, you actually have the mental maturity to understand your ideas, basically.
Sure.
There was
So-
a
So
there
then
was
does
a problem
social media need an age limit?
Huh?
Yeah.
Yes.
So then
I-
does social media need
Yes.
an age limit?
Yes.
And they're actually trying to pass a law where I think it's 16.
Oh, that's interesting.
And they talked about it because before that they're seeing that there's an issue with any tweens and teens below that age, that they can't handle the stress or the social awkwardness of social media.
Right.
Which, I mean, yeah, my oldest has Instagram and Facebook,
Right.
and I mean,
But these kids
I
are
have a,
savvy.
I
think
They're
it's more mature for
spreading
it,
lots
though.
of stuff. I
Yeah.
mean,
I have a proposition. Anything below 17, you can only connect to classmates, and the school has to authorize who's in your class, etc., who goes to your school, etc. And so that would be the only way to connect.
But
to people.
there should
problem-
hopefully be some parents involved in in those discussions. I would think. Right?
Yeah, but the problem with that is the kids will find a way around it. Always.
They always do.
Oh, absolutely.
There would be some, because we live in a free
Yeah.
society.
Yes.
There's going to be people who make apps that will be able to circumvent some of that
If
stuff.
the United States outlaws TikTok, all they're gonna do is all the kids are just gonna switch their phones to Canadian regions
Well,
and then use it that way.
Right now
VPN.
Instagram Reel has kind of taken over what TikTok does, and just recently they announced that they've surpassed the numbers of downloads,
Yeah.
and or as Doyle said earlier, the engagement on Reels than TikTok. So in other words, it's happening like on a capitalist level. I mean, they're taking in people because they're offering a more integrated product.
Yep.
So it's happening, and it happens all the time. I mean, Facebook used to be the dominant one. Now it's sort of like it's still there. It's probably not going anywhere, but people.
It got
just
so
kinda
bad they
like-
had to rename it.
Yeah,
Yeah, Meta.
that's true.
Okay.
There were that story or that question stemmed from this 15-year-old girl who was taking profits for doing a live. They do it in the form of stickers, and it turned out that I think it was like 65% of her viewing audience was men over 45.
Disgusting.
That makes sense. Yeah.
And so this girl, she didn't know. She just sees the bubbles and the hearts and the little, like, I like that, blah, 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 blah. She's doing TikTok dances, and she's 15. And you
She's
have
the
these,
innocent side.
yeah, you have these pedophiles basically who
Mad
use,
kids.
they use that's hilarious, but not funny at all.
That's funny, but not.
I can't believe
funny.
he fucking
Ha
got
ha.
away with it, dude. I really can't believe he got away with it. I'm just gonna
So
say
many.
that.
Yeah,
Him and
that's
Giselle Maxwell. She's the first person to go to jail for sex trafficking, but with no clients. That's strange. That is so strange.
They just don't want to release her.
that is fucking.
Those are
sick, dude.
those are the kinds of things that I think would be on Hunter Biden's laptop.
And on that note,
Hunter Biden has all of that information, including the weather.
he also
outer
has
space is
he also
real,
has files
weather.
of Area 51 on there.
I'm not gonna go
The
that far.
car that runs on water is on Hunter Biden's laptop.
He's the one who killed that thing. It's on there.
I
Yep.
definitely.
He
think
knows
so.
who shot JFK.
Oh, we all do, but we're all keeping it under wraps. we're not going to
George
tell
Bush
you.
Sr.
I'm
He
telling
knows where that diamond is that bitch in Titanic threw down into the ocean.
He knows who DB Cooper is.
He is DB Cooper.
Oh, he is.
you. He knows the exact size of the door that Jack could have been on at the end of Titanic.
Hey, I know that
He-
size. That's
He
bull
knows.
crap.
He knows his dad was a Zodiac killer.
Oh, well.
Actually, that's not far fetched.
No, actually, like
We're
the minute
not
it came
getting
out of my
into-
voice, I'm like, wait a minute.
Hey, but what I really want to know is, does Hunter Biden know what to do when he's eating a banana or what not to do?
Not really. No,
He breaks that rule all the time.
No,
He's a creep.
he smokes the crack and then he forgets.
So he does make eye contact then?
He makes a lot of eye contact. Georgie, say goodbye.
Bye, everybody. And
Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
don't forget, be like, the secret to the flat Earth is on Biden's laptop.
Enrique,
I got nothing.
Doyle.
All I'm gonna say is that Nicolas Cage is a national treasure.
I think he just named this episode, by the way.
We need an active list on somewhere about all these national treasures that we have.
We're going
Halle
to start
Berry
making
is
the
a
Outcast
national
National
treasure.
Treasure.
I think so. I think
Elizabeth Hurley's a national treasure.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
she's
And-
an international treasure.
International treasure.
Thank you.
Okay, everyone. Thank you for joining us on this wonderful episode of the Ouchcast. If you want, as usual, check us out at ouchcast.com.
Give us money.
Yeah. Subscribe, click, follow.
Give us money.
Can I borrow $350?
Give us money.
$350. And remember, never make eye contact while eating a banana. Thank you and good night.